Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, listen, Devin Haney. We know he has a fight coming up with Lomachenko, but let me tell y'all something right now. No one knows what he's going to do next. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I know the dad came out, and look, you can't believe nothing his father says. You can't believe anything anybody says when they're a manager, when they're a promoter, even when they're a trainer. You know, this is all what you call like gamesmanship. You know what I'm saying? They really don't want anyone to know their next move. But if Devin Haney really decides to stay at 135, then the question really boils down to, what's the incentive on hanging around? Now, I'll tell you what, one thing we do know is going to happen, and that is a fact, is Devin Haney's fighting Lomachenko. And that's not an easy fight. But if Devin Haney can clip Lomachenko, that's a huge feather in Devin Haney's cap. You understand? This would be his first time, in my opinion, fighting a real threat. And I would say one of the top dogs at 135 pounds. Now, Kambosos was a top dog because of the belts that he picked up off of Teofimo Lopez. But Kambosos, is he a top dog at 135? He's a key player, but he's not a top dog. When we're talking about top dogs, we're talking about Lomachenko, talking about Davis. I would even say Ryan Garcia, and now Shakur Stevenson. Those names right there make ring bells. And then you got Frank Martin, who's right there, and Cruz as well. But really it's Tank Davis, Stevenson now, Lomachenko, and Garcia. But Garcia is kind of floating up at 140. But Devin Haney hasn't had those opportunities. If he clips Lomachenko, then that's outstanding. So from there, where does he go? And I'm telling you right now, I think Devin Haney may just bounce to 140. We look at the incentives at 140. And I think it's going to be straight assholes and elbows is all you're going to see when Devin Haney turns his back to everybody and takes off in the opposite direction. And the thing about it is Devin Haney's in a lose-lose situation. He's in a lose-lose. We know this is no secret. Doesn't matter if you're a Haney fan or not. He kills himself to get down to 135. But if you want to be a weight bully, well, there are sacrifices you have to make. You know, and in addition to that, you have to take what comes with the territory. And just for how long can he continue being a weight bully? Now, when they were fighting Kambosos, you heard him talk about it. They can't stay at this weight. They can't do it. Now they're talking about staying at 135. They're not going nowhere. That's why I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. I think Devin Haney clips him. And then I think Devin Haney and his father, I think they're going to bubble up to 140. But he's going to get raked against the coals because if he goes to 140, they say he ducked Stevenson. They're going to say he ducked Davis. They're going to say he ducked Garcia. They're going to say he ducked everybody, which I don't think is the case. Why sit there? Because that's why I say it's a lose-lose situation. He goes to 140, you know, people are going to clown him. But if he stays at 135, keeps killing himself, it's a loss for him because that may be the night where the weight cut, the dehydration, the going into those saunas, sitting there in those hot tubs, that may be the night where all that catches up to him. And then Stevenson clips Devin Haney, and he can't, and let me tell you something, Devin Haney can't make excuses. Even though it may be 100% the truth, he can't come in there and say, look, my body just can't do it anymore. Nobody's going to want to hear that. What he is going to have to say is the better man won and leave it alone. And maybe a year or 2 years down the road, when that conversation comes back around in the form of an interview, then he comes and says, you know what, I never said this before. I didn't want to take away from Stevenson's win, but this is what I endured right before that fight. And I think people would understand it because right now we understand the position he's in. He's in a tough situation. But when we really think about Devin Haney and him moving up, right? Look, this is him at 135, okay? This is what he's up against right here. I just saw that Stevenson is the mandatory for the WBC. I don't know how. I understand Stevenson clipped Yoshino, and I understand what they were fighting for, but what about Pitbull Cruz? So I don't understand how Stevenson just leapfrogging Pitbull Cruz to become the mandatory. But, you know, just because somebody's ranked number 1 and 2 don't mean that they're mandatory. That's how the one should be the mandatory, then they go down to number 2. But you know that's not how it works. So anyway, they bubble Stevenson above Cruz. So I'm guessing Cruz is in the number 3 position now. But it is what it is. But when you look at Devin Haney and what he has to face, you know, Devin Haney's got he's going to have to face some killers. So his reality is coming to him very quickly if he decides to stay at 135. And he's fighting Lomachenko, right? And I believe Lomachenko is the mandatory for the WBC. So after he gets through Vasily, right? I need to make sure I'm correct on that, but I believe Lomachenko is the mandatory. Then I don't know who would be next as far as mandatory, whether it be a WBO mandatory, IBF mandatory, or WBA. But either way it goes, Devin Haney, hey, he's about to get the wake-up call. But let's say Haney decides, you know what, I'm going to exercise my super champion status. Because remember, he got the belt for the WBO before he risked losing at 135 due to dehydration and just being in with super stiff competition. Let's say he bubbles on up to 140. Now, this is the thing. If he goes up to 140, is Devin Haney really as big as a Prograis, as a Matias, as a Catterall, as a Barbosa, as a Zepeda, Ergashev, Puello? You understand? Is he as big as those guys? Now, we know who already made the jump. Rolly Romero, he's up there fighting Puello. And then, which I think they're putting him in with Puello so Rolly can pick up a belt. Because Puello can fight. He has he throws a high volume of punches, but he doesn't hit hard. So Rolly should be able to handle his business with Puello. And then Teofimo Lopez already bubbled up, and you see he's holding number 10 spot already. But when you take a look at this, if Haney was to exercise his super champion status, and this is why y'all got to pay attention, man. He bubbling up to fight. He could be bubbling up to fight the winner of Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor. Now, if somehow Teofimo wins, which I don't think he will, Devin Haney, I'm telling you, Devin Haney will jump up and he will fight Teofimo to pick up a belt in a second weight division. I'm telling you, that's what I really feel that's what he's going to do. Because when you look at it, Devin Haney versus Teofimo, right? This is cherry picking right here. Him going to fight Teofimo, I'm going to tell you, Teofimo's a cherry. And I'm telling you, Devin Haney going to cherry pick him. Josh Taylor, a totally different animal. I'm just not sold on Teofimo since Joey Gamache left his camp. I'm just not sold on Teofimo anymore. I think if he brings a guy like Gamache back, Teofimo's on his way again. But right now, I think he's in a holding pattern until he brings someone else onto the team that can help move him forward. Right now, I just think he's in a holding pattern, and he's going to be there until he gets someone else that can add to the team, because I don't think his dad is enough. So just understanding how that super champion status works, that WBO at 140 pounds, the winner between Taylor and Teofimo Lopez, could be the incentive to get Devin Haney, who's the WBO champion, if he beats Lomachenko, to say, look, guys, assholes and elbows, I'm out of here, and go up. Now, from 140, he may choose to come back down. We don't know. He may choose just to go up there, win the belt, and drop it, and come right back down. We don't know what he's going to do. But what I want to do is give you guys a different look at Devin Haney. People are so quick to try to wreck him against the coast and say, oh, he's afraid of Shakur and he doesn't want to fight the big guys. Look, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. Tell me, oh, he's been quiet since Shakur called him out after Shakur's win over the Japanese fighter this weekend. To that, I say, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. Devin Haney's not afraid of no damn Shakur Stevenson. Them guys have been fighting for a long time. And I'm going to tell you right now, when a fighter gets quiet, you should pay attention. Now, do I have an opinion on Haney and Shakur Stevenson? I'll just tell you, I think they're pretty evenly matched. I'll tell you that. But, you got to give a little bit of an edge to a guy like Stevenson who's won the silver medal. That's a pretty big deal. Okay? But as far as him and Devin Haney, silver medal, gold medal, no medal, platinum medal, heavy medal, it doesn't goddamn matter because they sparred so much. So they know what each other brings to the table. And they both know that each of them are great fighters. But I think it's going to be very strategic, and the guy with the best jab, and in my opinion, is going to win this fight. Okay? And when you look at it, they both have tremendous jabs. Tremendous jabs. But the one thing that I know about Devin Haney that I don't like is he drops that, I think it's his left hand. He keeps that left hand all the way down by his knees, man, and that's just not good. That's bad medicine. And Shakur Stevenson, I saw what he was doing in his fight this weekend. When he throws his jab, he'll bring the opponent's guard down and then shoot a big left hand and then come back with a hook. So Stevenson does some very tricky stuff in the ring, stuff that if you don't have an educated eye, you won't recognize it, you won't see it. His ability to control distance and everything and to not get hit. Devin Haney knows how to control distance too, but he avoids punches by using his legs and getting out the way. He's not necessarily standing in the pocket, taking a half a step back and staying there the whole fight. Like Shakur Stevenson, he's just special, man. And it's so hard to do that. But that being said, I don't know who wins. I'm going to say it's a 50-50 fight. But I think that silver medal and that amateur experience and the fact that, he's spending you figure day and night. For the most part, he was there with Bud Crawford and spent so much time with Bud Crawford. And even Keyshawn Davis, even though I'm not sold on him, for that man to pick up a silver medal, that's a big deal. That's a pretty big deal. So, they say iron sharpens iron, but maybe in this case, silver sharpens silver. But when it comes to Devin Haney, look, when you come back and you take a look at this, what he has to face if he beats Lomachenko, he may have to come and fight Shakur Stevenson at the WBO mandatory. Then he come over here. I don't know about this Lemos guy at the IBF. Then here, Stevenson at the WBC mandatory now. Then you got Pitbull Cruz floating around. Then you look at what's hanging around the WBA. It's Tank Davis. Ryan Garcia loses it. Frank Martin. That's a problem. Then you bubble up here. What's the safest bet for him? If Teofimo Lopez beats Josh Taylor, he exercises a super champion status as the WBO. He goes, he fights Teofimo. So now you think about it. What would you do? Go, not kill yourself to make 135, stay at 140, fight Teofimo if he beats Taylor? Or kill yourself to make 135, be at a disadvantage, and fight a killer like Shakur Stevenson, maybe Tank Davis if he beats Garcia, Frank Martin, Pitbull Cruz? So you tell me. With that being said, shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. So now when I explain this to you, I try to back it up with some logic, not just emotion and talking nonsense. Because I think Devin Haney is special. I think Shakur Stevenson is special. I don't think either one is afraid. But I do anticipate Devin Haney getting raked against the coals, whether he stays at 135, and if he happens to lose, they're going to say, especially Paulie Malignaggi, I told you he was never that great. As soon as he stepped up, he lost. And yeah, he beat Lomachenko, but Lomachenko was old. That's what they're going to say. I've been saying this for months now. But hey, Lomachenko's not old. But if he goes to 140, they're going to say he ducked Shakur, he ducked the fighters at 135, and he went for the easy pick as Teofimo. They're going to slam Teofimo and make Teofimo seem like he was washed up. So it's a lose-lose for Devin Haney. He can't win. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, I'm all about a good joke. I'm all about having a fun conversation. Because some of this stuff, you can have fun with it. You know what I mean? But this man he's not even 26. And he got to deal with all this crap. But hey, man, he getting paid millions and big money. So you got to be a big boy and deal with what comes with the territory. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Let's see what he's going to do. I'm telling you right now, I think he's going to be assholes and elbows if you ask me. I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to turn his back to you. He's going to be out to 140. But I could be wrong. Only time will tell. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.